For months, we've been hearing the rumors that Tom Brady and Gisele Bundchen were about to get divorced. We've been hearing that they've hired lawyers. And then suddenly today, in one fell swoop, both Tom and Gisele not only confirmed it, but announced it was done. How? How did they do that? How did they manage to go from rumors that they were going to get divorced to mutual Instagram statements today saying, it's over, it's done. We have, quote, finalized the divorce. How did they do that? What was their secret? Today I want to talk about that because there's something specific that they did to make this case go away so privately. Now, first of all, let's talk about what it wasn't, because it certainly was not that the public was disinterested, that the public didn't care. We know that because there have been hundreds and hundreds of articles about how they might be nearing divorce, how they were having a public dispute about whether she was showing up at his football games, all sorts of statements like that. So we know for a fact the public has been very interested. The second thing we know is it was not a secret just because this was an easier, friendlier divorce. We can read between the lines to guess that it was not. The New York Post called it a bitter divorce, and Page 6 called it a nasty split. Tom Brady called it a very painful divorce. So it's probably not that it was just easy for them and hard for everybody else. But still, we have this fact. They suddenly announced today, divorce and finalized. Now, how did they do it? The answer is that they worked it all out in advance of filing using, according to TMZ, a mediator. What does that mean? What is that secret that Tom and Gisele used? Well, let me talk about what mediators do. I, in fact, am a mediator. After decades of trial practice, I now help people resolve their cases without having to go to trial. Mediators are typically trial lawyers who understand the process of trials and then help people figure out how to solve their cases without having to go all the way through that and having to go actually and deal with the trial. For a public figure like Tom Brady, for a public figure like Gisele Bundchen, that can be extremely damaging, not just for them, but in this case for their children, because they have 3 children very much in the public eye. And those children will bear the same problems that their parents would have if there's a public divorce proceeding, public custody battle. Mediator helps the parties figure out how to work out all those things. We know that when Tom Brady went back to football after just a 3-month retirement, the rumors began immediately that he and Gisele had had an enormous fight, that she was upset that he had gone back. She told Elle magazine that Brady needed to be more present with the family. She also said, "I've done my part, which is to be there for my husband. I moved to Boston and I focused on creating a cocoon and a loving environment for my children to grow up in and to be there supporting him and his dreams." But this season of football, we saw for the first time Gisele not attending any of Tom Brady's games. And a couple of months ago, we started to hear the rumors that both had lawyered up. Gisele apparently hiring a top Florida divorce lawyer, Tom Sasser, who represented Tiger Woods in his divorce against Ellen Nordegren and also represented Jeff Gordon, the NASCAR driver. Without question, Tom Brady and Gisele Bundchen had a lot of things that had to be resolved. Rumors are that they had a prenup. A prenuptial agreement is an agreement that the parties enter into before they get married, and it talks about how the assets are going to be dealt with if the marriage ends. If the marriage falls apart, then who gets what and how will we decide between us who gets what? That was a smart move, and it enabled them to settle, but they had still things to work out, particularly with the children, and that was done through the mediator. Apparently, when they reached their agreement, they wrote it out and filed that document with the court. That document will be kept confidential, although the divorce itself, of course, is going to be public. The fact that there's a divorce is not going to be kept secret. But the document where they worked out what they wanted to do between them, now that is being kept secret. We know that the couple had at least 4 homes to split, more than your average couple. They have a home in New York City worth supposedly $3+ million. They have a home at Yellowstone Resort in Montana. They have a Costa Rica home and then a $17 million home in Miami at Indian Creek Island. They also have many assets that were gained during the marriage. According to Celebrity Net Worth, both are worth a great deal of money. Gisele Bundchen being worth, according to their estimate, $400 million and making about $40 million per year. Tom Brady worth a little less, surprisingly, making $30 million a year and being worth about $300 million. But the prenup agreement could not have resolved what they would do as far as children. That part had to be discussed and worked out with the mediator. Both apparently have agreed to joint custody of their two children. Their two children are Benjamin, age 13, and Vivian Lake, age 9. Tom Brady also has a child, Jack. Jack is older. He's 15 and came from Tom Brady's prior relationship with Bridget Moynihan. That was a bone of contention early in the relationship between Tom and Gisele, because very early in their relationship, Bridget Moynihan announced she was pregnant with Tom Brady's child. But the relationship apparently really improved. There was a statement from Gisele that said, "I know this was hard, but I couldn't imagine my life without Jack. I call him my bonus child." And that's going to be something very difficult, because under the law, Gisele doesn't have a right to custody of Jack or to visitation with him. She's not his direct parent. Apparently, Jack normally and mostly lives with his parent, Bridget Moynihan, and with her husband. But Jack was frequently photographed with Tom and Gisele and their kids, and certainly the relationship seemed positive and close. In this particular case, there may or may not really be any discussion about child support. Both Tom and Gisele have plenty of assets, and it doesn't seem like there would be a huge issue with that. But of course, that is a typical discussion in a mediation when the parents are both going to be supporting the child. Overall, I want to say kudos to Tom and to Gisele for doing the mediation. These are intimate personal questions, and it makes sense for the parties to work them out if conceivably possible. It's especially a good idea in this situation, because you have a situation where the outcome is going to be very public. If there's a trial, everybody is going to hear all the sordid details. And it's not just going to blow back on the parents, it's also going to blow back on the kids, who will hear about what their parents did and what their parents say about each other. It makes so much sense to resolve that behind closed doors, privately, confidentially, so that the kids do not have to deal with that, much less the parents. So congratulations, wise move, getting a mediator and working this out and just announcing it as a done deal. Wise move by Tom and Gisele. If you're interested in legal content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.